Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bulldozer Investing. Today is January 29th, 2021. It is 5:18 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Let's begin our analysis. Actually, before we begin, I'd like to conclude that anything we say in this video or talk about is not a financial advising or buying or selling opinions. It is just an educational purposes only. Anything I show on my account is, again, educational purposes only. By no means my account is a buy or sell signal. So let's go ahead and begin. What's going on in the markets? What am I sensing? What's going to happen? I believe that we are in crisis, but this time it is not the government. This time it is not the people. This time, again, it's the hedge funds. It might be a mini 2009. That was the housing crash, and I think this is going to be the hedge funds who shorted are going to probably have to file bankruptcy. I think as using Robinhood on the Journey account, I'm probably going to sell all my shares and move the account to Tastyworks. I like their program. It's fast. It never crashes. They're pretty honest people, and I like the work they do. I do have a TD Ameritrade, and I have a bunch of accounts, but I'm just going to go ahead and stick with Tastyworks. I believe that Robinhood will crash the system. What I mean by the system is the market. I was looking for a story. I was looking for some news because, as I said many times, that VIX on the daily, let's zoom out, it was bottoming out. We're seeing these curls, right? So we're probably going to do a cup and a handle. As I warned you guys many times, even when we reached here, I said we'll see a flash crash back down 100 or the 61, and oh boy, we're going to pick up in February, like early March. So I believe what this, count this as a conspiracy, but this is what my story, this is what I think it's going to happen. Robinhood, all the hedge funds who have shorted are probably going to fail. They're probably going to have to file a bankruptcy. And I recommend, if you have, and it's my own opinion, but this is what I would do, I will move my account move my money away from Robinhood. And I'm going to do that as soon as it's Monday. Or just move the entire account, like transfer the account. Because if I cash and then, turn the cash into the bank and wait for 3 days and then, transfer the money, by then my stock might go up. So I'm just going to transfer the securities. Sell the margin and then just transfer the actual thing, and then I'll buy a margin on my other account. That's fine. So that being said, we're probably going to flag here, jumping back between the 261 and 100. Government is going to try to save the market. They're going to artificially pump. I don't want to say government, but let's say PPT. They're going to just try to save the market from crashing. They're just going to have to talk with the hedge funds and slowly basically try to transition this phase without as less damage as possible. Now, if the stimulus package comes and the public gets money and they're just going to throw the money on GME and other stocks again, I think it's going to put more fuel in the fire. So let's see what's going to happen. As far as analyzing VIX, let's go ahead and do an hourly. I see a nice cup and handle. It's probably going to take off again. I feel like volatility is going to be up the roof. So let's go ahead and delete everything because I feel like this chart has just became a mess of things. Okay. So these lines are fine. I've drawn this, like if you take a look at the weekly, these lines are coming like from everywhere basically. Well, let's go ahead and delete all of this. Okay. I'm just gonna delete everything we have. This is a long-term channel coming up, but what I'm just gonna do on the weekly is I'm gonna start from here and just draw a straight line. Or actually, in order to draw a straight line, let's do this. This is the first support. This is the second support. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go back to hourly. Okay, so we see that a green cloud has formed. We see that the support will clearly be around 30s, 29.30s, and then the 27 on VIX. VIX is going to rip. It's going to rip, and then once it gets somewhere around the 38s, it's going to dance around there. We'll see if it goes down or up. On the up scenario, like on the bullish scenario on VIX, so this is bad for the market. Like VIX going up would be market going down. Some people might say not necessarily, but usually that's the case. So clearly, if you look at this drawing that I did on the extensions, so what VIX had done is completely technical. Hit the 100%, came back, dipped pretty hard, found a cloud, found the support on the cloud top, and then kind of got stuck right on that 50 fib line. Now VIX will probably try to take over this band, this price range, and then the real resistance comes right around here. Now where do I see VIX at most? Well, anything can happen next week, right? What if Robinhood goes down and they just crash everything? 42 will be my target for VIX. On the downside, I think the cloud bottom and at most 28 area seems pretty supportive for now. But that's VIX, okay? Let's go to SPY. Today I got lucky. I don't want to say I was right. Let's just say I got lucky, okay? I drew these boxes in front of your eyes last couple of videos, and I explained the width of these boxes. I don't randomly like make this skinny and make this fat, right? We explained everything, and it hit the first target, and right when it hit it, people were panicking. People were like, oh my god, we're gonna crash down. I said, hold up, we're going up all the way to 72.98, and guess what happened? We touched that, and bam, okay? In order for SPY to really kick in something, that's the trend line, so it needs to break first of all above this trend, and then on above 72.98. We definitely lost, guys. I'm telling you, we definitely lost SPY at this point. I don't want to fear people. I don't want to say anything because it would be a bunch of conspiracy theories when it comes to my opinion, so people are probably going to laugh or think I'm crazy. I mean, you decide that if I have been crazy or not, since you've been following me or have not been so if you have been watching our videos but not subbed, please give us a favor and just hit the subscribe button. That just grows the community, and as I've said that many times, follow us on Twitter. Let me go ahead and do this, and I'm not pumping my Twitter account right now, guys. It's just for you guys to check. Like when I post like charts like this, I can't do that on the videos, and I'm doing this like here, right? What do we say when what did I say here? Reaching our first target to the downside, and then on the comments I said we're going to go up. A lot of people messaged me and said, what do we do from here? I said we're definitely bouncing back to 72.98. So what happened after that? Okay, so as you can, this is Fubo though. Let me go ahead and do this. I said it's reaching our target, and then I said, oh, we got lucky. I mean, I'm of course basically joking around here. Obviously these are not lucky moves. We've been doing math, we've been calculating things, right? We've been doing all we're doing is prediction. So let me give you my Twitter handle if you wanted to follow, @bulldozer_INVST. Everything we're doing, of course I'm joking around by saying that we got lucky. What I'm trying to say here is that we're predicting, but we're predicting educationally. Because the computers trade the way all these mathematical systems and studies and all these indicators, they're programmed to do so. MACD is still bearish on the hourly. I don't see any, so as you can see this, stochastics, okay? If stochastics break upward and the price goes up, and this is just curling down right now again, MACD here. Okay. So time will come. Time will come and SPY will surprise you with 2% up, but we have to look at the overall direction. Okay. So I don't want to go into technical details about MACD and stochastics and RSI. So just ignore these things. I don't want to confuse people. What I want to do is first of all take a look at the weekly. Let's delete all these fib lines. You're going to say, no, what did you do? But don't worry. You know, I keep on deleting and putting these back and forth, so it's actually an educational thing for you guys to see when I'm reconstructing it. I don't usually like to reconstruct charts, but when it gets too busy, sometimes I have to keep it simple. The KISS thing method, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Since I'm stupid, we'll go ahead and keep it simple for me. Not you guys, it's just me. All right, so it found the support on the weekly that we were, you know, yelling out. And how many times did I say that we were right here, right? I said, don't get surprised when we were up here. I said, don't get surprised if we hit this, you know, bottom of the wedge. We got a 20-day moving average support on the daily. This one is 9-day on the weekly. And then it kept going up. And as we were up here, I said, we're expecting a correction. It might happen, you know, mid-February, March. Just be careful. And bam, we finished under this. Now, the most important part is, will 357 hold? Okay. So let's go ahead and do something like this. I'm going to draw two fibs. One is going to be the bullish scenario. Now it's going to be off when we go to the daily, but we're gonna go ahead and can we hit 412 on the long run, or and again I could go backwards and like all the fibs end up being at the same place anyways, but can we go back to this range, or are we going to go back up to 412? We'll see what happens. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of volatility, and I'm gonna delete these fibs just to keep the chart simple. Okay, so I'll delete this box. You're going to be like, what are you doing? You deleted all your super targets. You were dead on. What are you doing? Videos are there for proof, guys. I'm not here for making legendary or gaining subscribers. I'm just here to educate for free, okay? So if we can hold this range, and it makes total perfect sense, because if you go here and look at this top of the box, it's hitting this top of the candle, and it's hitting the bottom of this candle as well. So I believe that this will be, if we crash down, I think we're definitely coming back to 3. Now, I'm not talking about a big crash, guys. The big crash will come if these hedge funds bankrupt one by one. Now, then it'll be a mini crisis. Now, if you want me to tell you where can we go, mathematical, educated guess here, we can take back our retracement all the way down to December lows, or February lows of 2020. And I can say that if we get a crash, or let's call it correction, right? It makes better sense. We can come to this range. We can hit the cloud bottom here around 278, but my crash target would be 300 to 282. I know that Gunlock and all these bearish people had started shorting around 262, so they might drag us down to 267 around here as well. Let me just draw a line there. Again, these are all opinions. Like, I'm not calling the market top or anything. I'm not one of these, and again, I like to explain too, I'm not one of those people that always says I'm not calling the top, but they keep calling the top. This is me, and we said this many times. How do we call the top? First of all, Apple, you have to look at Apple, Amazon, and everything else before you call the market top. Are they bearish? I usually do Apple chart, but let's go ahead and do something like this, right? Okay. When I said we're doing a rounding top, okay, so we come down here and then just accelerate and bounce, and then we keep going back and forth, and then bam. Okay, that's how you get a market top. This is not how you get a market top. This is a clear support. It might bounce and move up, right? So in order for me to call the top, I need at least a month. Okay, now you're gonna say that's a long time, but look at this. Okay, now you lost this, and bam. Now I could say this, right? We can draw a semicircle. Let me go ahead and select. Can I delete or undo anything here? No. Let me go ahead and take a screenshot. So in order for me, and this is weekly. So if we do daily, the rounding top would be more obvious. So let's actually do daily, right? Let's go back to daily chart. Well, let's do weekly. I think it was cleaner. Okay. Do we have volume? I think we're right here. So let me go ahead and explain. Okay, let me look. And again, these are all educated guesses. Nobody knows anything. Actually, if you follow anybody, I'm probably the worst person. Okay. So I'm probably the least knowledgeable out of all the followers, all the people that you're following. So we're right here, okay? So I think this drop might be right here. So we hit, in fact, we drilled down the 9-day moving average here, but we might pick up, right? We might do something like this, but the volume will decrease, okay? So what's going to happen is if we see the market recovery, so this is the scenario for waiting for the crash. We see a market recovery and the weekly candle jumps. So you see I said I need more than a month or two. So these are weekly candles, right? 1, 2, 3. That's 3 weeks. Okay. So if we go 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's 3 weeks. We might then call, okay, I think it's topping out. But for now, we don't know, right? We could just be living like this. W flag and then bam, right? So we might build another W flag. Like this area, this level is very important. This area right here is very important. Okay. And that area, let's go ahead and see that area, what that is equivalent to. 357. If we lose it, then yeah, we'll talk about it. But so for now, what's going to happen is if we pick up on the weekly and we get a new high, you see, or maybe like the second week we get a new high, but the volume here at the bottom is lower. So the volume keeps dropping. That's when you get prepared. That's when you purchase the May, June UVXY calls and so forth, VIX calls and everything, right? The 50-cent guy that's famous, and you do all that crap, right? But for now, the buy has to come in with low volume, okay? And the sell-off has to be between the 357, 350 area. Then that's going to be the first bottom of the market, worst case right here. Okay? Which is perfectly fine. Then we will probably fill this gap. So right here, this is a gap. So my estimate is if we get a crash or a correction, we're going to end up somewhere here. Okay? So now and you guys know, whoever is following me, you guys know better that I'm not a person who jumps in the ship and switches to a bear or a bull just because the market is doing that, right? I've been calling these things for the last 2 weeks. I've been telling you exactly what's going to happen according to laws of math and any other studies that we taken advantage of. Okay? And that area, ladies and gentlemen, is around 389, 390s. Or I'm sorry, not 389, 289, 290, 282. That area is going to be the bottom of the major correction. Obviously, look at the bigger picture. We see a bigger, ascending wedge, which is usually bearish. Okay. But for now, let's not go ahead and be one of those stupid bears and and go ahead and destruct the whole entire world and run around and say there's fire, sell, 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 sell. No, I'm not seeing that yet. Nobody can know when a correction comes unless you're the bank who's in trouble, right? Remember the Big Short movie? The guys knew they were in trouble. Those are the only people that know when the real actual correction happens. Okay? So my story here is that if couple institutions and hedge funds go jumping off the roof and they're like, okay, we failed, and file a bankruptcy, that's when you're going to see, and Robinhood says, I'm sorry to its users, we're going down and so forth. That's when you're going to see shit going off. Sorry about the language, but let's go ahead and look at Apple. If we're going to call market top, right, let's take a look at Apple. Apple doesn't look like market is going to drop. Now, however, the weekly sell here is pretty good. The low volume, but the sell picked up. So we might what I'm guessing is we might not see a real correction just looking at Apple, but if you see here on the weekly, you know how Apple had formed this wedge, right? So it just did a double bottom and fly. So Apple might find a place on 121s or even as low as 112s. That's a good support here. So that's a good support here. Around 113. Again, I don't know what the hedge funds are doing. I don't know what their plans are. So it's very hard to call the top here. But when I look at Apple, Apple just looks bullish. And in fact, I think Apple is just doing another, falling wedge, which is bullish once it breaks out. Okay? It had pretty good earnings. It has no trouble with cash. Sales are good. I don't see the market crashing for that reason. If it's a crash, it's going to be a quick one because of these stupid hedge funds, and it's going to take like a week or so. We might get like a -10 week or something, like, or -10 in 2 weeks, and then just take off. Okay. As long as you're not holding margin or risking things, just stick with diamond hands. Don't be paper hand. Just stick with it. Be in the pain. That's all I gotta say. But if the real correction comes, we're all here in this journey together. We're gonna get our butts whipped all together, and we're gonna come out stronger. Okay. So looking at Tesla now, Tesla, everybody says it's a bubble, blah blah blah. Guess what, guys? The reason why I don't look at valuation, this is the market. There's a buyer, there's a seller. The seller says this is the value, the buyer says no, this is the value, or the buyer says no, the value should be higher. That's how the market price is determined, with the buyer and seller. Not because an analyst comes up and says, oh, Tesla is 1,000. Where were these analysts? They're saying Tesla will be $40. Now that's pre-split. If you split $40 into 5, I don't even know, what is it, like $5? So now they're coming off and saying Tesla will be 1,200, Tesla will be 1,000. That kind of freaks me out and telling me maybe Tesla is doing a top, because I don't trust these analysts. That's when they rated Palantir for $15, and guess what happened? It hit 44. I'll fire those stupid guys. It's a falling wedge. Don't get scared. If we lose the ground of 780, guys, remember when I said before the earnings, I don't trust Tesla earnings, and again, we got lucky with this one. Every drawing is a luck, guys. I don't know crap. Okay, I don't know a single thing about stock market. So it basically, this lucky box we drew randomly here without doing any mathematicals. I was just lucky. I just put it here for no reason. And then it bounced off, which is a good sign. And then the trend line that we drew, I don't know where this is coming from because we're too much zoomed in right now, but has been a pretty distinctive support right here. We're obviously on a falling wedge. We might test the waters again and then break out. Okay, so that's Tesla. I don't think Tesla will crash because it will crash SPY. I think that was a good move by Elon Musk, however you want to pronounce it. Elon would be the right way, actually, that he included the Tesla. Now, if Tesla bubble bursts, I don't want to call it a bubble, but if Tesla valuation bursts, I think then the market will crash. I think Tesla is now the new Apple. I think we should not look at Tesla, or we should not look at Apple for a market crash, but we should look at Tesla instead. Maybe Apple weighs more on SPY, but look at this. MACD is ready on the hourly, guys. Or I'm sorry, stochastics is ready. RSI is way oversold. Last time it was oversold, we hit the channel at the top here, right? That was from 800 to 849. That's almost a $50 move, right? So we might hit, so the resistance or my next target would be 824 and 850 on this one. And then as I always say, when we break out of a wedge, do not just jump inside the ship. You actually jump out, and then it'll always retrace. That's when you buy, forming a double bottom. Bottoms are always determined when you see a double bottom. Okay, as you can see on this breakout right here, so we have a breakout, popped up, it even dipped a little lower, but the double bottom formed right here, so then it broke out. Okay, so there you go. That's Tesla for you. Every single stupid box I draw, there's a purpose to it. I'm lucky, and I get to be lucky all the time, so just stick with our luck here, I guess. Worst comes to worst, if market goes, haywire, we'll hit 720 on Tesla. As I always say, I mentioned the bullish scenario. I always have to mention the bearish scenario, because you don't know what these freaks can do to the market. Hedge funds, when I say freaks, not the Wall Street bets. Okay. So that's Tesla. Plug. Reason why I included is I saw big volume. I was like, holy crap. Sorry for the language, as I'm trying to be most modest and be example for teenagers who are interested in the market. But I couldn't hold off. But look at this, guys. 315, almost 316 million worth of purchase on the market on close. MOC means market on close. Order. Look at this. Now, I've seen this kind of thing on Palantir 2 weeks before it headed up. Okay. Now, I see a nice base here, right? We talked about, let's go to 4 hours. It'll be more determined. Now, I was the guy at 2013 buying plug around 120. Now, stupid of me, I had like 10 or 15,000 shares. If I kept it, I would have been a millionaire. But who holds a stock? I don't have hands like that, man. I can't hold the stocks for, 9 years? That's impossible. Maybe if I bought like $1,000 worth, I would have held it. Or maybe I would have sold it at $10. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's easy to speak now, right? But when you see your company going $1 to $10, I guess you're gonna probably sell. So, or maybe we should not sell in this environment and just shoot to the moon. You see a rounding bottom here. It might form a cup and handle here and just boom. We do have the 61 and 50%, and then we'll look at the 161 and see the ultimate bullish scenario. But that money doesn't come in for no reason. Rather it be a market on close or rather it be a full purchase, I don't care. I think that if the stock moves, and you might think I'm crazy, let's go ahead and draw one of our lucky boxes here. You might think I'm full of crap, which I have been for the last couple of months that I've been doing this, right? That's why I blew up my account almost, right? So there you go. These are our targets. I'm going to go ahead and post this chart on Twitter because it looks really nice. And it might be one of our luckiest charts. Now, how you play this, you buy calls, puts, you buy the stock, I don't care. And I don't give a heck. I really like, I feel the sympathy for people who are trying to make money, and I'm trying to help them, right? But one thing I got to tell you is this is going to be free. I don't know, maybe in like 6-7 months, I might have open like, I don't know, something like, what do you call it, Patreon, and you guys can do tip me or donation, whatever. I don't need it. I don't ask for it, but a lot of people are telling me, do private and so forth. Like I don't want to do, I don't want to do like buy sell orders. That's too much for me. I can't live that stress of telling people to buy and sell and then having them fail. I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is just do a free educational videos, and you decide when to sell or buy depending on the most mathematical mathematical systematical way. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly do a snapshot here. Take a picture of this beauty. And I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and post this on Twitter. Alright guys, I just posted it on Twitter, so that's why I said follow me on Twitter for sweet charts like this. You can learn from it watching the video and how I drew it, and you can see how it ends up. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't care. And it usually does work, by the way. So, and then we have Excel. A lot of people had told me to look at this because there's high percentage of shorts. Now, the problem with this is the EV sector, so it moves probably pretty much with Blink, all these, EV sector stocks that I'd be tired, listing the names of. When the market is hot, it moves. So it's on a support right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a short squeeze. This thing is like, this thing is almost like Big C. Did I write Big C here, or did anybody ask me to cover? No. But Big C is one of the Wall Street's, most hated stocks out there. I don't know for what reason, but this is a falling wedge, so it might kill you. Don't, again, just with these kinds of stocks, treat it like, put the money that you're willing to lose and just forget it. And one day you wake up, this thing hits 25, 28 or 30. But it might take you all the way down to, again, I'm not drawing these because of fib, but sometimes you don't even need the fib. Like here, that might be like the lowest point is 14, which will be a steal. I'd probably sell everything and get in it, because when it hits 14, this thing is going to do the same move. But could it hit 14 or could it go up? I don't know. That's why I don't like to answer the question for Excel, because this stock has very short float of shares, and baby, they're controlling it. This baby is being controlled, but I don't know from a couple groups. And that's the most scariest part about holding these low float share companies, because they're being, most of the time, when I say manipulated, then I have to worry about the SEC. But let's say that they're being controlled by a group of people. They want to raise it, they'll raise it whenever they want. They want to lower it, they'll lower it, knowing that they have a position on it. Okay, they'll lower it knowing that they have a position on it, because they don't care. They know that they're gonna get cheaper shares going down. They have the money. You don't, so they're just gonna collectively take your shares away. Just like NVAX, when we were buying at 8, 9, drops to 7, buying, drop to 6, buying 5. I'm like, screw this. And then it dropped to 389. I'm like, this is it. And then bam, that thing hit 220 today from 389. So that's the thing with these stocks. So you want to play these stocks, you have to start very little. Put 1,000 to, I don't know what little means to your budget, right? You might play with, one of my followers messaged, and it was a high amount for me. I don't have that kind of portfolio, guys. I'm only 33 years old, so I don't have that much money. So the money that you guys have, I don't know what is little to you, but a little to me would be like 500 to 1,000. Okay, that's something that I could afford and lose all of it and say, who cares? And it goes down to 14, I'll buy another, 10,000 shares, $10,000. And then if it goes down to 10, I'll buy 10,000 more, and then just sit and wait. I'm like, they can't take crap from me. What they'll do then is if it goes to 7, they'll raise it to 14, and then bam, take you down to 6, and you're like, oh, screw this, I'm selling it. Just hold it. Hold it, hold it. That's the market right now. When one of you guys, I just spoke to one of my, I call him uncle, like one of my dad's friends. He bought like crap load of NEO, like, I don't know, like $500,000 worth of NEO around $1.30. And he held it like a champ around 556 when it went in, and it went down to 250. He still held and bought another 100K worth, and then he sold it around 15. Now you tell me, that kind of money, I probably couldn't even wait till 15, but hold it. That's the market right now. Even if it crashes. We covered Excel. Now this was a request. Carnival Cruise Lines. This sector will eat your patience away, guys. Airlines, cruises, I think, so the trick with this is, right, Carnival, so let me go ahead and do this. Not the 4 hours, but I'm going to do weekly. Let's go ahead and delete all our, studies and drawings we did, okay? Forget everything. Now, this is the thing. You want to take a look at a stock where it's not diluted. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, it was worth 15, now it's worth 19. Now it could go up another 100%. Not necessarily, because this stock is diluted now. I don't know how many shares they have sold since this, right? They needed to operate, they needed the cash, so they just kept offering shares. So you have to do some math. If you're going by the valuations, don't. Because Carnival, Norwegian, these stocks sold crap loads of shares when they were in trouble, which I don't blame them for. I can't blame them for, because they're going to either go bankrupt or they're going to save, a bunch of people working for them and just stay, stay on the business. So you can't blame them for selling shares, diluting their shares. That's perfectly fine. But what I think had happened with this stock, again, Puppy Trades, I like to congratulate him. I follow him. I don't follow like what he's saying, but I check his tweets and everything. He's been And I've been a Novavax believer since it was 389. So nobody knew the stock when I was, asking people that I, admire, go ahead, can you chart this? Like, I can't figure out things. When I'm looking emotionally at a stock, I want other people to, do a technical chart because I'm going to be a bias, right? What I believe in this is, do you want to get in on this wedge? That's what the issue is. Now, it might go up another $24, down, up, down, but when the time comes, it's either going to hit the shit or it's going to fly up and, fill this gap right here. Now, I don't know. Honestly, when you guys, the first one was a gap fill here, right? So it filled the gap here, filled it twice, and if you look, this is the weekly. If you look at the weekly, we might be setting up a huge bear flag. I don't know if this thing is going to go back down to $5 or if this thing is going to go to 40. If you want my honest opinion, I don't know. On the weekly, it has a nice support of 20-day moving average, and as soon as that, as soon as it bounces off, it might just go back and hit $25. I don't know. It has earnings. I don't know how it's going to react. Like American Airlines, I was holding American Airlines, what, like freaking 7,000 shares? If I held it, only if I held it and stick through the pain, bought it at like, what, 13.50, something like that, and went down to like 10, I'm like, screw this, Now the thing is, you see other stocks flying and you want to jump in and cover the loss, but sometimes you just have to sit and wait, let other people do its thing. And then not like IBM, like I went in on earnings on IBM and it crashed. I'm not going to sit and wait IBM for 10 years, but things like American Airlines with good news, like, can fly up. But if you ask my opinion, just looking at the technicals here, it has a pretty good support around 1718 area, right? What is this, like 1785, something like that? The real issue is, does it have cash problems? How long is it going to take? They keep extending, right? How long is it going to take? Although we're getting these immunization, shots and everything, it's too diluted. It's already, so if you look at the valuations, right? I think it probably diluted almost 100%. So if it hit 25, it's already at 50. I just can't do technicals on this because anything can happen. It does have a bearish flag on the weekly, but then it can get a support at 18 and hit 24. So you take your side. You want to take your side to 40 or you want to take your side to $5. So that's your decision. Okay. W was another request. I believe this is Wayfair, right? Wayfair seems like it's doing a big flag, and it actually broke out of the flag. Okay. This is weekly. I don't know why I'm doing weekly. I just happen to be on the weekly chart, but things seem more clear. It found a support on the weekly 9-day. You want levels? I can give you levels. It already hit. So I wish I did this. I wish you asked me this before. Maybe you did and I forgot. Because like it's all over the place. I can't keep up with what everybody's requesting. So it hit the 61.8 and 50. It might retrace. It even hit 100%. I don't know. Did it have like earnings? No. Maybe it was some news. So if it does retrace, expect it to go back to 278. And if it continues the bullish run, so when I don't follow the stocks, I don't know how it's going to react, right? I can't really tell you how. I need to watch the stock for a couple weeks. That's the thing with me. If I'm not familiar with the stock, then I can't really tell you what to do at this point. You can look at these levels, okay? And the most freaking bullish scenario is this right here. Now, what I like to do with these stocks is buy the amount you're willing to lose and just hold it. Okay, these are the levels. Okay? Expect to retrace. Well, it did retrace already if we look at the daily, right? You see how things look when you're zoomed out? It looks so much better. It did find a cloud support. Well, it could go. Yeah, it could go. I think the resistance levels will be around 310. Okay, so let's sit and wait on this one. It looks bullish. It came out of a big flag, big pennant. So it looks bullish to me. I don't know how the company is doing. I don't know how their earnings will play out. That's, other questions out there. You do your own due diligence, but the chart looks bullish. It looks good. CLSN, I think clean sells. Okay. All right. Oh, it's been a while since I didn't look at this chart, but it looks bullish. Came out of a big cloud. If it comes down to 115, I might even get this. Huge sell-off from this. I don't know what it was. So it kind of lost its touch. I would have loved, so it hit the rebounds was hit the 50%, but what is this on a penny stock status? I don't know. You might just want to do lottos on those. Like you just want to do lottos and like just say, okay, all right, I'm buying little, and then just let the time resolve it. These things can go like if you buy 1,000 shares and it hits 100, like Novavax. So I just don't like these things are just pure luck, guys. On the weekly cloud, it's still not there. The daily on the year, it did break out the cloud, but I'd be careful in these names. This is just purely a lotto for lotto plays, I'd say. There are other technical guys there that do better. I just don't. It's very hard to do technical analysis on these kinds of things because it's news driven. So news comes out and it just goes nuts. Okay. So if you want to just do lottos, like I wouldn't put like 100K in this and just expect to be $10 million, profit. Just put 1,000. Just let it sit. Goes to 100. That's 100K. BTC. Okay, I can't do BTC, but I just like to show this chart. I was really excited. I bought Bitcoin for the first time in my life, and I made like 15%. I made like 2% in my initial buy. I can't really tell where I bought it. Let's do hourly. I think I bought it somewhere. Where was it? Somewhere here. I bought it yesterday. I don't know what time. Was it yesterday? And it's like 28, right? I think I bought it on some of the dips here, sold it at the top, then I positioned in right here yesterday, and I didn't even know, right? I just went to sleep, and then I woke up and I sold it as soon as I woke up. I sold it at 38.10, so I probably somewhere at the top, and bam. So this is the support that we've charted. This is the hourly. We charted it. I told you guys that this will be the support, and it will go back to 38,000. Okay, so that's BTC. Something new, some fun addition. I'm not a Bitcoin guy. I'm not gonna go ahead and give you guys ideas or anything. Just for fun, I wanted to do it. BLCM. Another biotech name, and another same conclusion I'm going to say is, since I don't do due diligence on these companies, they require a lot of research and analysis. So charting is pretty much just a tool in this case that might not work. Basically what it did on this move is that it closed the gap, okay, and it came back. It's probably going to find the support around 421, worst case scenario 392. I can draw you a trend line. Okay, so the support might come down to 385, 390, and then move up. The cloud is happening to be green, but I don't want you to live this through, right? So it went up, flagged, and then bam, right? I don't know what these companies, the news they're waiting for, so just follow this trend line, and I would say take a screenshot on your computer while you're watching the video or something. I just can't tell because sometimes it looks like this is a good pennant, right? And then bam. So a lot of the medical sector or biotechs, I can't really be confident about my technicals as much as I am on Apple, Tesla, and so forth, right? Another name is NSPR. On the weekly, I don't like the internals because the bearish crossover on the MACD and stochastics. So I don't know. Or this is daily actually, it's not even weekly. And remember the rounding top that we were mentioning, it looks like it's doing a rounding top. Again, I don't know what the deal is with this company. I don't know anything about them. Holy crap, like this was why is this so much? Has this been like getting diluted? Yeah, I don't want to do technicals on this because I don't like calling technicals on these stocks, guys. Honestly, like technicals will work on charts that are more traded. So if you don't have the volume, you don't have like a common stock on the ETFs, these stocks are lottos to me. Like it just could go to $100, it could go bankrupt. So I don't want to do technicals on this, but I see a rounding bottom, and if it loses this trend, which it looks like it did, then you're looking at another trend right here. Okay, so it might come down and hit 62 cents. I don't know. It's holding the cloud bottom, which is good, good sign. It could come back and retest the 9-day moving average on the 4 hours, but I just don't want to, I want to be fair because it would be like me guessing basically. I don't want to guess something. I mean, it's all a guess, but it would be less educated guess. ORBC. Bearish on the 4 hours. Definitely bearish. I think you're probably in pain right now if you see this rounding top and then bam, it lost the 20-day. It's probably going to go and find a support on it might test the 20-day moving average and go to 8, but it might find a support on the 50-day. If you want to treat this, you want to get in slowly. It might break out, so this might be a breakout play, guys, but just be careful. So it could go up. Now where it could go up, I'll tell you. I just don't, if you're a long-term investor on this one, just watch out. I don't know how this is going to get affected, ORBCOM, if, I assume that this is on the NASDAQ. I don't know if it's going to get affected by the NASDAQ sales going on. So it might hit 879, but just be on the safe side. Still green cloud. It might even come down to get a cloud support or the 50-day moving average. We'll see that. But it could be due for a breakout because of this falling wedge. And if it does, look for it 87908 and $10. Okay. A lot of people are requesting me to do GameStop and AMC and all those things, right? BlackBerry, Nokia. Reason why I'm not doing it is because I think it would be like a clickbait. I don't want people to visit my channel on the purpose of me, trying to get clicks and subs. So I don't want to do that. If you want my opinion on GameStop, this is a class issue right now. This issue is a class issue. A lot of people all over the world, they're dumping millions of dollars, 100,000. I see everywhere. People taking screenshots. They're like, we're contributing. Put like 300K. This guy has some balls. 1 million. I saw one tweet. So this is a class issue. This is like Occupy Wall Street Volume 2. And they want these big institutions that screwed the retailers for years to get bankrupt. So I don't believe any technicals in this case. I believe that it's morality to support the movement. I believe that every retailer should support GameStop. Rather you buy 1 share, 2 share, rather you buy 1 share of AMC, doesn't matter. Just throw in something you're willing to lose and don't even look at it. I don't even care about the chart of GameStop. I wish it goes to freaking $10,000, and I don't feel sorry for the institutions. And I believe that whoever is investing in GameStop right now, they don't care about winning. They have a different purpose at this point. I believe that people who were trying to make money off of GameStop, they're already out. They're freaked out. Paper hands, they're gone. They made their money and they're gone. I believe whoever is holding GameStop as of this point, AMC as of this point, sorry about my dog, he just wants to go outside, he's crying. Whoever is holding these shares, they have a different agenda, they have a different purpose. So I support them, and I'm not charging crap, and I'm just going to say, if Robinhood allows you to buy one share, just buy one freaking share. Or even when I said screw Robinhood, I'm going to sell all my shares and get the heck out of Robinhood. Screw them. I'm going to go ahead and go to Tastyworks. You can choose another I'm using freaking Thinkorswim, but they just merged. It was a different company. But screw TD Ameritrade. Screw Schwab. Okay, Fidelity allows you, go to Fidelity, support them. Go to Webull. Go to Tasty Trade. I don't care wherever you go. Screw the people who are not allowing us to continue our moment. Okay. Rather you take this as a retailer moment, or people all around the world. It's not even about America. It's about the 1% versus the 99%. Screw the 1%. That's all I gotta say. Buy one share of GameStop, buy 2 shares of AMC, and let it go. Okay? That's all I'm going to conclude with. Have a safe trading. Enjoy your family time on the weekend. Don't worry about stocks on the weekend, guys. Let's enjoy our family time. That's all I'm going to conclude, and that's all there is to it. See you then, and don't forget to subscribe. YouTube and Twitter.